the expansion, we move forward. We come from the most, I don't know where they come from. Nah. I heard some theories, but I will not quote them. This ain't exposure. This is promoting the fruit from the tree and the roots and the planter who grew them. If this is too deep in my sympathy, sorry to lose you. This ain't confusing. We come from the tribes, descendants of Yah. We look like Messiah, water and fire. Destined to rest with the breath of the Most High. Please do not try us, cause we be protecting what's ours with no problems. Keep the commandments and we guard them. This is the expansion, we move forward. We come from the Most, I don't know where they come from. Nah. I heard some theories, but I will not quote them. This ain't exposure. This is promoting the fruit from the tree and the roots and the planter who grew them. If this is too deep in my sympathy, sorry to lose you. This ain't confusing. All right, we are live. Finally, it took us some time, but we are here. We are ready, and we're not going to be defeated on tonight. It took us like, what, 2 hours?
Yeah,
about 2 hours to try to get the settings correct and the audio and the video, and it was really against us, but we know that it's important that you all get this message. And sometimes when you are standing for righteousness, the powers that are out there are against you, and we know that, and we just keep pressing forward. So tonight, as you can see, we're going to be talking about trying to change people and how it is a manifestation of witchcraft. And it really is a type of hidden witchcraft because a lot of people don't really understand it as such. So we're going to talk about that, and hopefully this blesses you all. Hopefully you guys had a lovely day of rest, and we're going to hop right into it. So as you can see by the title, trying to change a person is considered witchcraft. Now, I know you guys are going to be like, Reese, where are you getting this from? You got to stay with me. You got to put your seatbelt on so we can go on this journey. We're going to start with just a simple understanding of it, and then we're going to dive a little deeper. So we talked about, if you caught the Hidden Witchcraft video that we did probably like a month ago, you would have heard about all of the hidden forms of witchcraft. And I think that I briefly touched on manipulation and how that is a form of witchcraft, because it's forcing your will on somebody else's life. And there is only the Most High, and the Most High is the Most High all by himself. And we don't have the luxury of putting our will on other people's, because it's his will that should be done and not ours. So we talked about it briefly, and we're not really going to talk about manipulation because you can have a whole video of manipulation by itself, but we're just really talking about changing. So a lot of times we get this idea that if it is something good, that we should promote that or get that person to move in that direction, right? So just like, maybe let's just say like eating healthy, right? Everybody would agree that eating healthy is a change that somebody can make that will be beneficial for their lives and their longevity. So we think that just because it's a good thing, that we can force somebody or get somebody to do that. And you got to like bear with me. So the thing is that even if it's good or it's bad, there's only one that does the changing. The only thing that we can do is be living examples, share information, and keep it moving. outside of that, we can't do anything else. A lot of times we see the best in people, and we know people's potential. And so we have a tendency to want to get them to their potential faster than the Most High's will. We can say lie on that for a second. Now, I know people are going to say, what will people say? People people will say, maybe we go through life to change and we're supposed to evolve. And they're right. We are supposed to evolve. But there's only one who causes us to evolve. And so, in order to really understand what I'm saying, because I know it's still like choppy right now, and you guys got to excuse me, I'm in a different frame of mind because I've been battling this computer software for 2 hours. When we look at the word change in the original Paleo Hebrew, it's the word shana, and this is going to be Strong's 8132 for those of you who like to study, or Strong's 8141. So when we look at this word, I'm going to put it up on the screen so you guys can see it. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. When we look at this word, we can see that it has a shin. Sorry guys, just trying to check to make sure you guys can see it. It has a shin, it has a nun, and it has an olive. And so we can see the modern Hebrew on the top, and then we can see the Paleo Hebrew right underneath it, and it's kind of like not that clear. I'm sorry, I probably should have made it a little bit thicker. But the Paleo is going to be the symbols that represent each modern letter that we see. So again, we have the modern Hebrew or Ivrit that's on top in white, and then we have the Paleo Hebrew underneath it in black. And so we see that the shin, which is the white, we're starting from the right and going to the left. The shin, that's the first letter, that's going to be destroy. It can mean to, it can mean press, it can mean eat. We have the nun, that's going to be the middle letter. And with that one, you have seed, it can mean sun, it can mean continue or air. And then we have the olive, which is the ox head. And that's going to represent, this is the Most High's letter. It can represent the Most High. It can represent strength, power, or leader. And so when we look at this word in the Paleo Hebrew, we have the pressing of the seed by the Most High, who is the leader. He's our strong power leader. And so when you look at this word change, it means the pressing of the seeds, which are us, by the Most High. And you like, I really don't get it, Reese. Here is something that's going to help you to get it. The word shana that we use for change in Hebrew is the same word as year. And so this word that captures time, year, because year is time, is the same word that's used for change. And so when the Most High says, I am the Most High, I don't change, that's because he's outside of time itself. In time, the year, as the year goes, the Most High presses us and causes us to change. And so we can say, on that for a minute. I wish they could see like my mouth so I could like highlight it, but they can't. And so for anybody interested, this this Hebrew word, it equals 351, but we're not going to go into that tonight. We're just going to talk about change. Thinking. All right, so we gonna hop in it. So, what type of changes do we like to make? The first, I feel like, and the most important change is going to be the change that we want to impose on our family members and our loved ones, and particularly, the most prevalent example I would say is in a relationship, like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, something of that nature. Because typically we like I said earlier, we meet people and we see the best in them, which is a good thing. And a lot of times, a lot of us are optimistic, right? So it's like, I see the person that they can become. I'm going to date them or entertain them or even some cases marry them and hope that they change. Or I'm going to get them to change. I'm going to get them to reach their maximum potential. We have that mindset. And then when it doesn't happen, now I'm finna get a divorce. Cause you ain't changed, and I keep telling you X, Y, Z, and you ain't do it. And how many times I have to say it? We hear it all the time. But what if you didn't yoke yourself with that person and you didn't expect them to change? What if you met a person and you said, "I'm going to accept you exactly how you are, and we're going to move forward"? That expectation wouldn't be there. You wouldn't experience that turmoil, and the story probably would be happily ever after. But that's not what we do. We go in it with the mindset that we are going to change this person. Now, you will have some people say, Reese, I don't relate to you because, when you meet somebody, they're supposed to bring out the best in you. You see that in the scripture anywhere? That's nowhere in the scriptures. When Hawa was made for Adam, it was to be a helpmate, to help bring about the vision that the Most High, or the instruction that the Most High had already given Adam. And that was to till and tend to the garden. Adam already had that instruction. Hawa was made to help Adam out, just assist him, not do anything other than that. Assist him in a way that he needed to be assisted. Hawa was not made to change Adam. Adam was not made to change Hawa. He, like he's supposed to do in his garden, tend to it, is the same thing that he's supposed to do with Hawa. Tend to her, nurture her, so she can grow and she can bear fruit like everything else in the garden. And then when Hawa grows and is nurtured and bears fruit, whether that fruit be actual children or her gifts and her talents, she does the same thing with those. So she mirrors Adam, and Adam is completing or walking in the vision that the Most High has given him. And so it all trickles down. So you have Hawa, and she has children, and now she nurtures her children. Is she changing her children? No, because her children are a blank slate. She's molding them and training them in the way that they should go, nurturing them and pouring out on them the same thing that she's received from Adam. So you're going to have some guys tell you, oh, we can change women because we're the more dominant beings and things of that nature. Don't let them tell you that. That's bullcrap. You're supposed to nurture your woman, help her to grow. The only, I don't even want to say thing that can change someone is the Most High. Anything outside of that is witchcraft. Now we move on to the family unit, because a lot of times we have family members who, I mean, we don't pick, at least with our spouses, we can pick and choose who we want to marry, right? But with our family members, we can't pick them. We have our family members that are in righteousness. Those the Most High gives us. We don't even really choose those, to be honest. But then it's our blood family, right? And a lot of times, we see the best in them. And a lot of times they have traits that we literally cannot stand, right? Makes our blood boil. I have a lot of family members like that. And some of them probably going to watch this. You make my blood boil. But do I want to change them? I think about the thought of us coexisting together without the struggle. I do. I would be a liar to say that I didn't think about that. I do want to see everybody operating to their full potential. But do I cross the line of trying to force them into my image of them prematurely? And is my image of them how the Most High sees them? Because sometimes our image of a person is contrary to how the Most High sees them. Now, you might be like, Reese, you're losing me. But if you stay with me, hopefully you come back. If you are praying, or if you have somebody who they always have something to say, right? And you are praying for them to be quiet, or you desire them to be quiet, and you just got to learn how to close your mouth. And I'm sure some people, parents, say that to them. But what if the Most High has called them to speak up? What if the Most High has called them to speak his word? And so now you are speaking contrary to the will of the Most High. Mm. We definitely got to say a lot on that. Because a lot of times people don't want to hear that. Most of the time, the gifts that get us into trouble are the gifts that get us out. And it takes a person to be on one accord with the Most High to recognize certain giftings in other people. If not, you'll speak a word, a bad word, and you could cause them to go off track. People don't want to hear that, because that means, number one, you got to have a particular type of relationship with the Most High. Number two, you have to be willing to be obedient and not speak a thing out of season. And then number three, you might not like it. You just might not like that the Most High has called that individual with that annoying voice to be his mouthpiece, because you feel that they talk too much. So in that example, can you see how you trying to change that person is witchcraft? Now, what does it look like when I'm operating with the spirit of the Most High? It might look something like this. You might meditate, you might pray, whatever you call it. Most High, this person is really getting to me. Number one, give me the strength to not speak a word out of order. Give me the patience that I need and show me how I should deal with this person. A lot of you already do that, and I know that. But this is where you go wrong. You don't get anything. And then you do what you want to do. If you asking the Most High for patience to deal with the person, he might not respond. He might not give you the insight on how to deal with them because you just asked him for patience. So now you're going to have to endure that thing for a little bit. And then when you get some patience, now I can give you the direction on how to deal with them or how to pray for them. But you have to understand what you're asking the Most High for because He gives us the desires of our heart. And I know some of you guys that are watching this actually are praying for patience, and you really do want patience when it comes to specific family members. So you're going to actually walk that thing out. You're not going to wake up one day and it just be okay. That's not how it's going to happen. So you're going to have to live in that. And once you've lived in it for a little bit, then He's going to come and give you the insight that you need to deal with that person. And then once He tells you, I've chosen that person to speak for me, then what happens? Do you get an attitude? Or do you humble yourself before the Most High? Because once He's revealed to you that He's called that person for a certain thing, now your words have to change. Your actions towards that person has to change. So now, even though that person, because that person is still talking, right? We didn't even address that. That person is still talking and getting on your nerves. But now you have the divine insight to know what the Most High has called them to do. So now you have to humble yourself. And now I'm praying for thy will to be done. Now I'm praying that you would strengthen that person in their gifting, that you would send somebody their way to help them order their words, that you would give them the discipline that they need to follow your will. And meanwhile, while you praying for that, guess what? They still talking. If you interact with that person outside of how the Most High has led you, and you try to change them into what you want them to be, you are operating in witchcraft. All right. So now we're going to move on to the next example, and that is children. Our job as parents, outside of providing and protecting for our children, is to train them up in the way that they should go. We should not make ourselves gods to our children because that's not righteous. There is only one Most High. And yes, the Most High has called our children to respect us and us to respect our children. Let's rewind. And us to respect our children. Because a lot of parents miss that part. Our children have personalities that are unique. The Most High has given them those personalities, whatever those personalities may be. And this is going to be similar to the family member that gets on your nerves with their mouth. Because your child might have traits, and this is going to get under some parents' skin. Your child might also have traits that you don't like. And you want to I just wish she stopped. And guess what? The Most High is going to use that thing to bring about His will. So are we trying to change our children, or are we praying and asking and seeking the Most High for wisdom and how to train this child? A lot of us don't even realize the calling that's on our children's lives because, number one, we never sought it. We never leaned on the Most High to get an understanding on how to raise our children. We have in our mind the ideal child. He should be like this. Yes, ma'am. And this and that and this and that. And that might not be what the Most High has called your child to be. Now, obviously, yes, should they be respectful? Should they have manners? All those things? Absolutely. The word of the Most High should be how we choose to raise our children. That's it. Not what our grandparents say, not what our parents say, not what our friends say. What the Most High says. And that's it. We are not dictators when it comes to our children. And a lot of people are not going to like that. Do children need rules? Absolutely. The rules come from the Most High. You can set your own rules for your household, but I would hope that those rules will reflect the rules of the Most High. Obviously, I'm not getting into like chores and things of that nature. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about just your overall moral compass, like that thing. The standard, maybe I should say standard. The standards that you have for your children should reflect the Most High's word. You might have a child that is very opinionated, and there's nothing wrong with that. It might get on your nerves. You might have a child that is insanely intelligent, and they can't stop asking questions. They question you every time you say something. You have to go to the Most High for the revelation on if they are doing that because they're just really intelligent, because intelligent kids do that, or are they doing that to be a headache? Because you have children that do that to be a headache as well. So if you don't have the discernment, you need to pray about it. Because you could be hindering that child. You might have an Einstein on your hands and you are really just confining them because you grew up in a household that says, don't ask an adult why. But then you have a child that their brain is just really going to the point where they really want to know why because they're thinking about it. And they don't mean any disrespect when they ask you. You got to understand what you have. And that requires, again, a close relationship with the Most High. And I feel like that's the trend tonight, is having a close relationship with the Most High to get discernment on the calling on people's lives so that we respect that, and we know how to deal with them. It's not taking matters into our own hands, because we see where taking matters into our own hands has gotten our ancestors. Sarah didn't believe that she would get pregnant, so she tried to take matters into her own hands by giving her handmaid to her husband, and that caused problems. We don't want to cause any more problems for ourselves in this season of our life. And these are the things that your pastor should be telling you about. People think that if it's good change, it's permissible. It's not the truth. I'm sorry. Now, obviously, I'm not saying you always maintain your standard. And the standard should be the Most High's word. We're always going to share that word all the time. We're always going to share peace. We're always going to be loving. We're always going to be kind. We're always going to be those things, but we're not going to lower our standard. We don't smoke crack. We want you to be well. We can help you if you want help. If you want help, we can help you. And here's another thing. There's nothing wrong with setting your boundary. It doesn't mean that you have to accept certain things just because you can't change a person because that's witchcraft. Because yes, that's witchcraft. At the same time, I don't want crackheads around my son. So let me know, family member, when you get it together and you can come around. And I want to say this, that's different from trying to manipulate a person to stop doing crack. I'm not going to let you. Okay, this is an example. You have a crackhead relative. They ask you, can they rent a room from you in your house, and they want to pay you monthly to rent that room. And you say, okay, cool. And they pay their rent all the time, on time, every month. But you feel like they shouldn't be on crack. And you knew they was on crack before you let them come in your house. And you want to manipulate the situation and say, you know what? Until you get off of crack, I'm not going to let you stay here no more. When you don't necessarily have a righteous, because you already knew they was on crack before you decided to let them stay in your house, and they pay you on time every month. But you want to manipulate the situation because you feel like they shouldn't be on crack, and you knew that they was on crack way before. That is witchcraft as well. That's different from protecting my child from unrighteous behavior. I hope you guys hear me in the back. It's the intent. The next thing that I want to say is, and I wrote this down and I kind of touched on it in the beginning, and it's the Most High knew us in our mother's womb. And so we already had the laws that He set in place um, to grow, right? And those are going to be universal laws, right? When a mother has a child, the child grows into a baby, the baby is born. The baby is going to grow, right? Now, depending upon what you might feed it, it might flourish or the growth might be stunted. But there are laws in place that are going to promote the growth of that baby or that plant. We could use a plant. We can't change that. We can only add to it maybe breast milk or what's the other one? Formula. I don't even know what the other one is. I'm like, what's the other one? Formula. Keep that mindset when you're dealing with people. You look at every person as a plant. The plant is going to grow. You can add to it, throw some better soil down, give it some water. But number one, you're not the reason that it's growing. The Most High is. And number two, when it's time for that plant to be pruned, the Most High is going to do it. And that pruning is not necessarily completely changing the plant. The pruning is shaping it in a way that it grows better and it reaches what it was called to be. So the pruning is the situations that the Most High allows us to go through. The pruning is the revelations that the Most High may give us in our time that we spend with Him. That is what the pruning is. Most trees are going to give you fruit in their season, unless they go through things and the quality of the fruit might be poor, or they might not get as much fruit as they had one season to another season. And that's us. Some of us have bad fruit, right? We not even talking about that, because some of us it's just ride. You might have got a fungus. But that's okay. Some of us have fruit, but we might not have as much as we had, or we might not have as much as we will have, but the pruning helps the process, right? And so we have to look at it as though we're assisting in the maintenance of the plants. Adam was told to tend to the garden, and to what was the other one? Tend to it, and what else? Tend and keep it. I think Genesis says tend and keep it. Ayana's gonna look it up for us real fast. Um, tend and what is it? I think it's Genesis 2:16. I could be completely making that up. Was it uh 15? 2:15. No. Oh, 2:15. Okay, yeah. So it's 2:15. I mean, KJV. It says, "And the Most High took the man and put him into the garden to dress it and to keep it." So he's tending to it. That's what dressing it. And keep it means protect, guard it. We got to know our proper place. The Most High never told Adam to change it. He said keep it and protect it. I have a question for everybody tonight, and that is, do we really change? Or is there a part of us that starts to connect with the spirit of the Most High and live up to who we were always destined to be or called to be? Because we already are who we are in the spiritual realm. The Most High said He's going to bring us to an expected end. So right now, as I talk to you today, February 11th, my end is already expected. The closer I get to the Most High, the more I can understand that expected end. So I'm just getting my physical in line with the spiritual realm. So my question is, do we ever change? The Most High doesn't change, and the Most High is who He is. His rules don't change. The rules are what they are. We can choose to follow them for our good or choose to ignore them, but they're going to be regardless of our existence. There are rules and regulations in place for this realm that we can't see that are going to be in place regardless of our existence. If I'm in tune with the Most High and I'm open to following the Most High's will, am I changing or am I just growing and living up to the plant that I was already programmed to be? There's a certain point in our lives where the Most High makes provision for us. And He's already made a way to bring out the characteristics and the traits that we need in order to be who He called us to be. We just have to get to those places. Are we changing or are we living up to who we're called to be? And this is a legitimate question. Like, I want you guys, if you hear this, to actually answer this because this is a legitimate question. I don't have an answer for this question. Because if I am a grape plant and the Most High has already programmed me to give grapes, I'm going to grow and I'm going to give grapes. The Most High already knows where I'm going to need pruning. For some of us, that might be 15 years old. For some of us, that might be 20 years old. For some of us, that might be after we come in contact with a fungus and our fruit gets rotten, and then might need to be pruned and we might need some tender love and care. But the Most High already knows when that's going to happen. I don't know what's in store for that strawberry plant because I'm a grape plant. The only thing I can say to the strawberry plant, you might want to lean to the east because I heard the sun is shining that way. But outside of that, I don't know when the Most High is going to prune that strawberry plant. But I do know that the strawberry plant was programmed to have strawberries. I think if there is nothing else that you got from me tonight, what I want you to get and what I want you to understand is the most important thing that you can do is have a relationship with the Most High, seek Him when dealing with people, and that's it. You don't have to overcomplicate things. You don't have to force your will upon another person's life. Actually, if you do these things, you will live in more peace. And that's pretty much it. You have anything?
I think you summed it up very, very well. Pretty much what I was thinking. You really said it towards the end. Having the connection with the Most High and seeking Him with how to deal with people. And two, what that does is that'll teach you how to mind your own business and tend to your own garden, because you're looking and so focused and intently figuring out how to change someone or work out their life plan that you miss your own life plan. You miss the things that's creeping in that's going to cause you to rot. And so this is why we are here to help each other, but it's also through the guides of the Most High, like going and seeking Him, and He giving you direction with all things, with you, yourself, your own garden, and with other people's garden. And so when we, and I like the fact that you use the word like pruning, because to me that's like growth and development, you know, and especially when it comes to parents and children, I think this is something that should be said more often, is we have to seek the Most High with our children as well, because how can we raise a child up in the way that they should go if we haven't even sought the creator of that individual? Yes, you made the physical form, but that spirit was put in and fostered through the Most High. So you're not the creator of that thing, because all things starts with the spirit. Yes, you made the physical, but there was a spirit first. So you're nurturing and tending to the physical, but you're seeking the Most High on how to do that in the spiritual, so that you can lead them in the way that they should go. Because ultimately, train them up in the way that they should go.
No, I think lead too.
Lead, yeah.
Yeah, train and lead.
Yeah.
Because kids, they watch what you do, and they will know that you're a hypocrite. They will say it. If they don't say it because they're scared of you, they might think it. So I think that's important. Leading is just as important as training.
And I think it's something for us to just take a step back and realize, like, sometimes we put emphasis on things that we don't really need to. Sometimes we do a whole lot thinking that that's we have to do a lot, but in actuality, let's take a step back. Let's, number one, mind our business and tend to our garden.
Absolutely.
Seek the Most High, and He'll give you the instructions. Other than that, you doing too much.
Absolutely.
Anything else, you doing too much.
Facts. It
Keep it
is.
simple.
And it keeps your blood pressure down.
Oh, let's talk about the ailments you're gonna have.
Yep. Seriously. And we don't have the capacity to deal with a lot of people's junk, you know? Like, yeah, we have a community, and yeah, we hold each other to the most high standard, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but not to the point where I'm acting like God in your life. Like, that's not even beneficial to either party.
You'll run yourself to the ground.
Yeah. And after you run yourself to the ground, then you're gonna stress the other person out because you be ran to the ground. They wonder, well, why is she sick? Why is she in the hospital?
And now y'all both vibrating on that same frequency, and everybody's sick. Everybody messed up. Whole community ruined.
Yeah, people go too far, and it's like things are so easy, you know?
Yeah.
It's easy. Like, even like, yeah, we complicate things. I'm not trying to change anybody.
But you know what I think it is? I think it's like I guess I'll call it like a complex type thing, or an ego or something, because we have to realize that we didn't create anything.
Period.
We have not created anything. So it's like, I guess coming to that realization too, like I need to take a step back because number
Be
one,
humble.
yeah, let me humble myself.
I'm dirt.
And I'm thinking that I created something. I can tell you who you are. Oh, okay, that's not how that works.
At all. And this is for the YouTube gurus. You're not a guru. You're not though. You literally, whatever you can think, whatever you can imagine, has already been outside of you, existed outside of you by the creator. So you have to get into a sense of meekness, humbleness, to know that without the Most High, there's nothing for us to do or create.
He provide the tools. He provide the things for you to use to create something.
Absolutely.
But you can't do it on your own. You're in
At all.
his creation.
You are. You're in time itself. He said, I change not. I don't change. So in my mind, I want to know what is change. Because he's saying he don't change. So what is change? What is change and why doesn't he do it? Change is our pressing around this construct. You got to listen. We are being pressed to move towards becoming like the Most High. We're going to get our final form eventually, which is going to be like the Most High. Once we get that final form, we're not changing. We're going to be in eternity, back in the garden with the Most High dwelling amongst us. Hallelujah. You don't get it. Let me say this. When Adam got banned from the garden, he got banned. Why? Because the Most High didn't want him to eat from the tree of life, to make him like a God, giving him his eternal body. And now we have to earn that right to eat from that tree. After we're pressed, right? That's that word, that Hebrew word that we went over. After we are pressed to become more like the Most High, so more unchanging, because we're trying to get to those righteous attributes. And once we get to those righteous attributes, there's nothing beyond them because those attributes are the Most High. Are you worthy of eternity? Are you tapped into your God consciousness? I'm going to live righteous. I'm going to live peaceful. I'm going to live lawful. Or are you vibrating on a lower frequency? For some of us, that means, are you still eating meat? For some of us. Some people have been called to eat a certain particular diet, and the Most High knows best. So if you're watching this and you've been called to eat a particular diet, it is in your best interest to start to eat that diet. I'm not saying that's for everybody. If the Most High has called you to go live in a tiny house in a remote part of the universe, go do it. I can't tell you the why because I'm not the Most High, but I can encourage you to be obedient because a lot comes out of obedience. You don't know what revelations you're going to get from being obedient. You don't know what's to come either. A lot of times it can be just prep and you being ahead of the curve because you were obedient. When we're chasing that eternity, we're not really worried about these trivial things.
We understand what's real, what's not, what's important, what's not. You need a filtering system to be able to determine what is what.
Absolutely.
If you don't have that, then you're gonna be lost in the sauce.
And the filtering system is the Most High because the Most High is truth. And if you want truth, you will get it. Listen to me. I'm not telling you to go be religious. I said the Most High is truth. And if you want truth, you will get it. The Most High is the filtering system, not the church, not the pastor, not the imam, not the professor, not your mother, your grandmother, your father, your aunt, your uncle, your child. Not that. Not the world, NBC, CBS, ABC. No. Fox. No. The Most High is the truth in the filtering system. It's not complicated. People complicate it. People make religions. People make division. The Most High is tired of that because those things push us further away from the Most High. And we can't hear Him when we get involved with that. Before the church existed, Noah followed what the Most High told him to do. This was before Hebrew even existed. Noah followed the Most High's word. And like the days of Noah, shall the second coming of man be. So we need to be like Noah and follow the Most High's word. Noah could have very well put whoever he wanted to put on the boat. I'm not sure if the boat would have made it,
That's a good point. Yeah.
but he could have put whoever he wanted to put on the boat. He could have tied people up if he wanted to. Y'all finna die. And I'm
Let me.
sure he had some friends. Can we
No,
talk about that?
no, that's a great. That's an excellent point. Yeah, I feel like we can get so deep with this because that shows you a mindset or a level of understanding that Noah must have had to know, yes, I love these people, but the Most High has called me to do a specific thing, and I'm going to follow that specific thing. Not, well, I mean, well, I feel like they should come too.
Well, I know you said make the boat this way, but I need to put a room for Sean and JJ.
Who you told me not to, you didn't even mention,
Yeah.
but I want to make a room for them. Because the thing is, we see from a certain perspective. The Most High can see inwardly and understand the inner workings of an individual. So what you might see might not be the actual individual. What you might see is a mask that the person might be wearing.
Mm-hmm.
The Most High see beyond that. So you thinking this person, if he come along, he can help with such and such and such, and you don't know that he gonna turn the boat over or something.
Right. Facts.
Or he just not fit for the plan that the Most High had.
Right. He ain't finna make the kingdom. Oh, but he pray 5 times a day. Who he praying to?
Well, he
You got people who pray 5 times a day and they just chanting and what's the word, like repetition,
mm,
or they're doing it in a religious way,
mm-hmm.
and their heart is not even connected to the divine.
See what he told you.
He probably not even paying no attention,
No, I was
because your
trying to.
intention is not even in the right place. But you pray 5 times a day, and then somebody gonna come and see that you pray 5 times a day and think more of you, or think that you are
Mm-hmm.
this religious or this insightful
Mm-hmm.
being, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't even have a connection in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You done went to church for 30 years, every Sunday,
Pay tithes and offering.
paid tithes and offering, and
Then
went out
then
and
it
fell out at the altar and got prayer 38 times.
went to Sunday school,
Went to Sunday school.
Wednesday night Bible study.
Yes, Wednesday night Bibles.
Meanwhile, nothing has changed. Nothing has. You ain't been pressed at any point because you ain't sought the Most High
No,
for pressing.
no.
But doing those things is like placeholders, but it holds no value, no weight.
Thanks. You're still stuck. And I will go as far as to say that the Most High is pruning these people because things are happening in their lives, but they're just stunted. Their growth is stunted. You know why? Because those plants are not turning to the sun. They're stubborn. They think they have everything they need to grow.
They become complacent, comfortable.
Yeah. And so at a certain level, you can only bear a certain amount of fruit because you're so close to the ground. Too much fruit is going to bend you over. But if you just turn a little bit to the sun, then you'll start to grow higher and have room for more fruit.
And the things they can't reach that high will be able to pick from the fruit thereof.
Absolutely. Good conversations, good conversations. This is definitely, definitely been a blessing. Yeah. Don't really know what's going on with the connection, but I think we are still live. So yeah, yeah, I think we're still live. But yeah, we definitely want to know how you guys feel about this topic. Um, if you guys feel the same way that we feel. I know when we did the witchcraft part 1, it was decent. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people actually appreciated it.
Mm-hmm.
We were surprised, but yeah, we hope that you guys appreciate this, and um, yeah. So keep pressing forward in righteousness. Keep living peaceful. Keep seeking the truth. Keep seeking the truth, and you shall find it. On this channel, I'm just directing people to the Most High. If you don't like it, you go to the Most High about it. Not gonna push religion on anybody, and that's that. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evenings, and that you enjoy this upcoming week, and that you find time to pray and meditate, and find time to seek the Most High, and that you lighten up on your relatives that get on your nerves, and maybe your child. Um, Show some grace, and yeah, just live light, and let me know how it works. I want to know, and that's it. So, Layla Tov, that's good night, and we shall see you next time.
We come from the tribes, descendants of Yah. We look like Messiah, water and fire. Destined to rest with the breath of the Most High. Please do not try us, cause we be protecting what's ours with no problems. Keep the commandments and we guard them. This is the expansion, we move forward. We come from the Most High, don't know where they come from. Nah, I heard some theories, but I will not quote them. This ain't exposure, this is promoting the fruit.